Ooh.
Pie. Blackberry pie. Blackberry pie. Blackberry pie. Pie.
The tools for your pie crust include a large mixing bowl, a rolling pin or cylindrical similar object, tablespoons, a scale, cling wrap, as well as your pie dish of choice. Later, you will also be using a large saucepan or pot for the filling, and not pictured here, but also you will need some aluminum foil, and optionally, we will be using a pizza cutter to cut the dough. Our crust ingredients, you will need ice water, vegan butter. I recommend the Miyoko's block for this. It holds best for this pie crust. All-purpose flour. Mine happens to be unbleached, but whatever's your flavor. And some salt. Before your fingers are caked in pie dough and flour, roll out about 2 to 3 feet of cling film to wrap your pie crust dough in. You can put this on your counter or wherever you have the space. Firstly, we're going to measure out 200 grams of flour, or if you are me, spill the whole bag into the bowl and have to sheepishly spoon it back into the bag. Now, you should at this point add salt. I forgot. I add it later, but it's not going to mix into the dough evenly and shit. Now for the butter. Highly scientific this is. This has been chilling in the fridge, and we're about to put in 1/3 of our total amount. I've cut roughly 1/4 inch cubes of this butter, as you see on the right. The cubes we are tossing into the flour now and breaking them up, and the rest of the butter is going back in the fridge. First, lightly coat the cubes in flour, then squish them up with your fingertips just until there is a slight yellow hue to the flour and pea-sized butter lumps left. Be cautious of overmixing at this point and melting the butter too much. Too much handling and your crust will be too chewy, gummy, tough, less of that flaky, tender, desired dream crust that we are going for. And yes, at this point, it should resemble kinetic sand. Here is the moment she knows she fucked up. Oh, shit. Oopsie. Okay. Embarrassing.
More butter.
Fresh from the fridge. Butter round 2. The remainder of the fridge pieces here are cut into thin 1/8 of an inch-ish slab pieces that we are going to work in almost like laminating croissant dough would go. Again, first tossing to coat each piece in flour, then gently between your fingertips, allowing them to break if they do, stay intact if they want, really just go with the butter flow. You will end up with a nice mix of different sized butter chunks here. Nothing I'd say maybe over 1/2 inch in size though. This butter jumble is what's going to give us that really nice flaky bakery-like level crust. The varied butter dispersed throughout is how the crispiness will come through without it being too dry. And I'd say at this point it should look like chunky sand. Moving into adding the ice water, we're going to begin with about 6 tablespoons to start. I am mixing this in with a fork, combining again, keeping the dough cold, not putting too much hand heat in there. Once it's beginning to come together a little bit, chunking up a little bit, I'm going to go in with my hands now to incorporate, kneading and pressing the water into the dough, adding a teaspoon of water here or there whenever it's too shaggy or not coming together. You can see here how it's creating those larger lumps, but it's not fully coagulating, so that's when I would add that extra teaspoon of water. I ended up adding an additional 2 full tablespoons from that original 6, so you may need more or less than that. It really depends on these little things like humidity, how the dough was handled, even like variations in the kind of flour. The crust is a real feel it out kind of thing, so once you can bring it into enough of a solid mass, some little straggler pieces are okay, you can always press them in. Remember, we want like a fairly dry, unworked dough. But once you can bring it up into enough of a ball togetherness, toss it onto a floured surface to roll it out. Quick and dirty, we'll roll out your dough until it's between 1/2 and 3/4 inch thick. Then grab your knife, flour it, and cut your dough into quarters. Pile these onto one another and smash that stack down until there's contact between the pieces, alien style. Stacking and flattening the dough here will increase the flakiness. Remember how I mentioned the resemblance to laminating croissants? It'll also further distribute the moisture, making it easier to roll out later on. You are welcome. At this point, you are good to pop your dough into that prepared plastic wrap from before and toss it into the fridge to firm up.
2 hours at least in the fridge.
After chilling, let your dough sit on the counter for 1 to 3 minutes to defrost a touch, and then smack the hell out of it just to make it pliable. Roll it out until it's between 1/2 and 1/4 inch thick and approximately 13 inches or so in diameter if you are using a 9-inch pie plate like me. I used my plate for reference here and pressed it into the dough for a circle to go off of and added some extra inches to the edge just because I cannot draw a circle for the life of me. And I am using a pizza cutter like I mentioned at the beginning, which is a game changer from a kitchen knife. Highly recommend if you have one in your vicinity. Flour your pin, roll out your dough, cut her up, get this crust going. Once your circle is clean and cut, roll it onto a floured pin for easy transfer to that pie dish. Roll it back out onto that pie dish gently.
Delicious.
Bring the dough to meet the bottom of the dish using your fingertips, all of those nooks and crannies filled with your pie crust, but be careful, not too forceful. You don't want to accidentally rip or tear the dough.
Tuck in the little edges.
Remember, it is quite dry for the flakiness. She is quite fragile. Be gentle and slow.
No raw hem. Do you see what I'm doing?
If you cannot see what I am doing, I am tucking the hangover dough underneath and outwards, then pressing it till sealed like a clothes hem. So you've got a secure, double thick pastry resting on the rim for a beautiful crust. Now to crimp, I'm making mine a bit voluminous for some character and drama, but basically with your floured thumb, press the dough into your also floured other thumb and pointer to get this fluted edge. You can also use your knuckle to however feels right to you. Then with a fork, prick the bottom of the dough a few times. This will prevent bubbling in the crust when we par bake it.
Into the freezer. This is going to go into the freezer for like 15 to 20 minutes while you preheat the oven.
Crust into your freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes, and the oven is preheated to 425. While we are par baking the crusts, let us get into the filling.
Oh shit. No lemon. Lemon juice. Lemon juice. Lemon juice. Lemon.
All right. Hi. Jumping in real quick. This is the point where I'm going to admit, if you hear something in the back, no, you don't. This is the point where I'm going to admit that I am going to kind of take creative control with the pie filling because we're kind of making up a recipe for this one. The pie crust was an adaptation of Miss Claire Saffit's. The filling is a do-it-yourself situation because the requester of said pie cannot do sugar, for it tastes like metallic chemicals to them. Sorry. Which sounds simple, except every recipe calls for sugar, and that's fine, but we're just gonna have to figure out how to thicken this little girl ourselves. So, this is the reason for the season, the cause that caused the pie. This big old pint of fresh blackberries, very ripe, very ready to go. So my plan is I'm going to, I think, cook up about 3/4 of that on the stove top with some cornstarch to thicken. I'm throwing in a little bit of vanilla. I really was going to do some lemon juice. I don't have any, but if you're making this at home, throw in some lemon juice and lemon zest. Totally overlooked that. And then if things aren't working out and it's not thickening the way I want, I also have chia seeds. That is only if it is a dire situation, because I don't really think either of those are going to be good, you know? And the chia seeds, I feel, will get stuck in your teeth. And as much as I'm okay with that, I don't know that anyone else is going to enjoy. So that's my plan. I'm also going to smash my berries on the stovetop. So similarly, you won't have as many seeds stuck in your teeth. Let me apply this as hairnet so we can begin. Ew, actually, I take that back. The texture of this is disgusting. Disgusting. Sexy. It's like you're in fishnets. Ooh, is this illegal? Hey, turn your stove top onto a medium heat. Okay, I'll take off your little panties. Okay, I'm sorry. Turning this on. Throwing in, I don't know, like that many? Yay. I don't know how much this is. Pound or so, maybe 2 pounds. I was giving you guys such good direction before, and now I'm really just... I'm losing it. So, yeah. Ooh, is this illegal? Ooh, it feels illegal. My name's Pink and it's really nice to meet you. You're right. I'm gonna grab a fork so we can smash. I don't have one of the, you know those people that have the potato mashers? Fork. Let me get you close and in the action. Hey. Ooh. Up. There we go. Ooh. It feels... Squinch squanch. Now, if my camera falls into this stovetop, you mind your business. Oh, Jesus Christ on a cracker. I'm hoping it gets a little jammy. Oh, there's the leaf. There's the leaf. That's how you know it's really fresh from the farm, because there's a nice leaf in there. Delicious. Doing a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons because I like vanilla. Gorgeous. I always lick the spoon and I think it's gonna be delish because the vanilla smells so good, and then it tastes like shit. And then I'm gonna do like 3 big tablespoons cornstarch. And I'm also going to, while we're here, a little cinnamon and just the smallest dash of salt. Just like the literal tiniest pinch. Literally the tiniest pinch. Call me so crazy, but I'm going to do like 1 crack of black pepper because it sounds good. I also just threw some salt over my shoulder like Rachel Ray. I will sweep that up later, but using these rainbow peppercorn Trader Joe. Just one. All right. Let's thicken her up. Oh, wait, that looks really good, y'all. Can you see through the steam? That looks like pie. Turn off the stove because she's pretty thick. And I'm just gonna make sure there's no big clumps of cornstarch. And you know what? I think I am gonna throw all of the berries in and just not squish them. Oh, this one is moldy. Is that? Yeah, this one is moldy. Are any of you? Oh my god, I didn't check. Well, did any of you see any mold? I don't think so. Just this one. Just this one. And we're safe. Safe. Right? Just the one. Did any of you guys see my butt? Let me tell you, making this pie is like a full day's process. But then again, so is like every baking thing. So. I feel like I'm seeing clumps of cornstarch. Like, is that cornstarch? Oh no, that's the berry. Oh, that's the berry, not cornstarch. That's the center of the blackberry. Okay, crisis averted. I thought these were all chunks of cornstarch. All right, let me give her a taste. Would it be insane to add a little bit of almond extract? Stuff is potent. I'm gonna measure. Oh, that's already too much. I'm gonna add the rest of it. I'm gonna add a little bit more, actually. I'm gonna do like a full teaspoon. And a little bit more vanilla. Teaspoon. Not even, quarter teaspoon of chia seeds. Like this. Texture or something. Would it be weird to add lime juice? I think I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh. So I added the chia seeds, and then I also added the same amount of a orange mango juice for like a citrus because we didn't have the lemon, and it fixed it. And then I also found a tangerine, and I put a little zest from the tangerine in there, also fixed it. So just let me tell you, be resourceful, people. And now I'm going to let this cool down and thicken, and then I'm also going to partially bake this pie crust with you real quick, and I'll show you that right now. So hold on. I forgot to say this in the first place, but you're going to need some foil. I love how this is not focused. So, pie crust out of the freezer. We're going to do this quickly so it doesn't heat up too much. Prep it up for you. Can you see? Okay, so we're going to do 2 sheets of foil, perpendicular to each other, and then one the other. You need to make sure it's long enough that it can cover the edges because we're going to blind bake it for about 10 to 12 minutes so that we don't have a soggy bottom. And then you're going to fill it with, you're supposed to do beans or like a rice, but all I have is lentils. So we're going to do lentils. Basically any kind of dry something, yeah, to weigh it down, so that the bottom does not balloon. This is just so that it just doesn't bubble up. That's all. And then we're So we're not going to talk about how dirty the oven is, but next step, you're going to just walk into the oven now. I think that's Sylvia Plath calling, telling me to stop. Anyways, put your pie on a baking dish with the edges lightly covered with the foil. Bake for 10 minutes. The time has come. Here is our partially baked crust. We just got the edges, the bottom. She's a little soggy right now, but don't worry. I put the pie back in the oven for like 3 minutes at 350 with no pie weights, no foil, just so the bottom got a little bit less wet.
Also, side note, I did do this whole crust process twice in order to make the top portion since I'm making a double crusted pie. So if you are doing the same as me, I've got that written down and noted in the recipe down in the description. So this is that second batch of pie dough, as I just mentioned. I had it chilling in the fridge for again 2 hours, and now we're rolling it out to create the top shell of the crust. I am again rolling it out to that same 13-inch circle diameter as we did before, so that the top and the bottom crust have the same thickness and we wouldn't have like a superly dense, overly thick crusted top. If I had left it in that smaller round, the dough would be inherently thicker in height, and then we'd have a much thicker crust, which honestly I don't even know if it would cook through. It would take forever, and honestly would probably come out raw or like soggy. So don't be lazy. Don't. Oh my god. Don't do it. Trim it off, cut it off, roll it out. No manhole cover pie tops.
I'm gonna cut this up.
Thank you.
While I'm still got it before I put it on the pie. I'm gonna do a little cross in the middle and some slices. So cutesy.
While cutesies, these cuts are for logistical purposes. They will allow steam out of the pie so that the filling is less likely to bubble out, explode, or something of that sort.
Kind of looks like a sand dollar.
Women in STEM.
Fun. Cute. Move that out the way. Whoa. The time has come. We're putting the filling into the girl. Bloop. I fear I may have a little bit more filling than I do pie, but hey, that's all right. I'm gonna put the whole thing in anyways. I'm gonna spread it a little bit.
Right here, put a couple pats of butter. Okay? Wait a minute. Don't do what I'm doing. Put a couple pats of butter on top of the filling. You'll see what I mean in a second. Just don't put your top on yet. Do as I say, not as I do. Be a little topless for a moment. Put butter on top of this. You will see what I mean in a sec. I will follow suit, just a little reverse. Okay? Okay.
This.
I'm saving you.
In the edges.
Thank you.
Like we did before.
Return.
Oh my god, I almost forgot. I'm gonna put a couple pats of butter under this just cause. Hold on. Cold butter. Oh my god, my camera battery's dying. Of course I forget. Some richness or something. And I'm just gonna like slide it under there. Because I'm really scared I'm gonna fuck this up. You can't see, but I swear I'm putting little pats of butter under here. I swear. Oh my god, no, the crust is too warm. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna get able to do. 4 pats of butter is all we're doing today. All right. Squinch my edges. Oh my god, it's so hot. This is panic mode, everybody, because my butter's not melting. Okay, I'm gonna crimp my edges real quick, just so they're like pretty. Kind of like this double crust action. It's kind of fun, kind of different, kind of gourmet. Nope. Kind of New York Times recipe. No. Okay, that looks good to me. Beautiful to me. Now I'm gonna take just a little bit of almond milk and brush it on the top with my finger for like a crust. Oh my god, the camera's gonna die. 5-minute makeup challenge, go. I was about to just pour this on my finger. Pour it over this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just gonna do like this. Yeah. If you were putting sugar on this, I'd say to put like the Damara sugar at this point, but we're not doing that. I think I'm gonna throw her in. Okay. Here she is before.
For about 50 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pie.
Oh la la.
She did explode a little bit because I got impatient and put it on 400 for a little bit to get it brown, and so the filling bubbled over the edge, but I cleaned it up a little bit after I burnt my finger. But here it is. Beautiful. So homemade, so rustic. Let this sit for at least an hour, if not overnight, to get all gelled up, and then we'll cut into it and give you a nice cross section. So flaky crust. So rustic. Could you make some more noise? Delicious, so rustic, so bloody, so juicy, so berry. Miss Americana. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I can. I work like a dog, day and night. Drinking coffee from a pot that none of you want to touch. What? Oh my god. You don't know anything. And you can't even have any of this fine. Okay. Go ahead. You want me to get that? Ooh. Wait, that looks nice. Wow. Okay, you can try it. No sugar.
Well, the blackberries were good by themselves. Very tart.
In a good way.
In a good way.
You actually like it?
I actually like it.
Yay! She liked the pie.
Now, the normal person would not like this. They would say it's not sweet.
I try it.
But I like it like this.
I like it like the sweet boogie like that. 10 out
The
of
crust is the crust. The crust is wonderful. What's this?
That's the yogurt
That's sugar-free yogurt.
cream topping. Do you want a slice?
Let's have a bite of it. It's tart. And like I said, if you felt it needed to be sweeter, just like you would put sugar in your
just
tea,
put sugar on
just
top.
put her on top of that, because that's really all that other people would have. It's not bad. No, it's wonderful. But if you want it to be sweeter, just put some sugar in it.
my favorite part.
Yeah, the crust
It's
is
Claire
wonderful.
Sappets,
What is that?
the dessert lady.
Oh.
Gray hair? No? Okay.
She sold you her crust?
No. All butter, flaky crust. Vegan.
Mama loves butter.
Vegan flaky crust.
Wow.
My clothes are off and I am on the floor.